Welcome back everyone to JJ Central DIY channel, and today we're going to see a topic that is pretty popular around nowadays, tiny homes. And I keep hearing that Home Depot is selling tiny home and Lowe's is selling tiny homes, and this is what they're referring to, the sheds, right? And in this case, if you look at this shed, yes, you can convert this to a tiny home, but it is not an easy ordeal. So you're not getting much other than what you're seeing here is what you're getting. What is it missing? Windows. You need 2 windows here on the other side, back, front, all that. So that is going to cost you about $1,500 at least for facilitating all the windows. Even $2,000 if you get good ones. And then door, okay? You need a big, let's say a French door or a proper door with glass or something. That's anywhere from $5,000 to $1,000 expense on top of that. Now, what else would you need? You know, just look around. You know, they got nice shingles, but the problem here is it's all sealed up. As you can see, it is completely sealed up. There is no ventilation going in. That is to prevent wasps from getting inside. But here's, I do see wasps already living here outside. But anyway, in a normal house scenario, you have proper ventilation to keep the air inside ventilated on the attic so that the house remains cool. In this case, you don't have that option, so you need to create that. You know, you need to have soffits, a gable vent, which is there, and then going through there, which means the insulation inside need to be beefed up on the roof as well as on the walls. So insulation, another $1,000 with completely doing everything of that sort. And on top of that, you have your electrical and plumbing, HVAC before you finish up the drywall, right? So electrical, that's probably the easier part because you'll need a few outlets and a few lights and a small panel to hook up to as a sub panel from your main panel wherever you get this house installed. So that is about a couple of $1,000, let's say. And then plumbing. That is going to be a nightmare because no matter what you do, you have to connect the plumbing to somewhere safe for disposal, right? So you either have to go with a sewer system that is existing, and in that case, you need to tie it to a septic tank. That's thousands of dollars of trenching and digging and all that. Or you connect it to the city sewer, which means you have to pull all the permits and pull, you know, again, thousands of dollars, $2,000 to $5,000 worth of plumbing needed if you want to attach this to a house. Then you may say, oh, I will use composting toilet. I will use rain catch system. Good. Those cost $2,000, let's say. You know, rain catchment with filtering or reverse osmosis to make it drinkable or usable. Composting toilet needs work too. I have no idea how people use that on a regular basis, but everything is money, you know. So that is all going to cost you at least $2,000 to $5,000 on plumbing, and then on top of that HVAC, right? In this case, because it's a small area, one split air conditioner system, $1,000, $1,500 installed is good enough for heating and cooling. But that heat and the cold air need to be insulated properly, which means everything inside. You look here, nice 2x4 construction here. And you need to separate the attic space so that you have some soffit air going on so the heat doesn't come down. And then you can put fiberglass insulation or spray foam insulation in here on the walls, and then put drywall on top of it. And on the flooring, you can have some insulation as well, you know, some styrofoam sheet insulation, and then put the floor on top. So you are talking about just insulation cost of $2,000 and all that. All being said, to make it livable completely, comfortably, you are talking about $15,000 on top of the $4,000 or $5,000 to get this to your property. Not to mention the ground rent of where you're going to put this, assuming it's some family member's backyard that you're putting this in, so you can tie up the electrical and the plumbing to their house and all that. So that is your general base cost. On top of the $5,000 of this, what you see as the existing building, you have to spend a lot more, $15,000 on top of it, in order to get your plumbing, electrical, the foundation. In this case, if you look at it, it says that flooring kit comes. That doesn't mean a foundation. You need a concrete slab that is $2,000 at least for a 10 by 12 or 15 by 12 something to pour 4-5 cubic yards of concrete, or you can put it in dirt, except you'll have the gap underneath. It'll be colder, floors and critters will start living under, all that hassle you need to live with. So better to have a concrete floor, another couple of $1,000s. Look at the windows here, the one that comes with the windows. You may say, hey, great, this one has existing windows. Problem is, this is a single pane shed window. This is not a dual or a triple pane argon-filled low-E efficient window. What this is good for is just to see through. It does not trap in the heat inside or outside, so it's not good for a conditioned space. You need to upgrade these windows to a proper livable window for this kind of setup. On the other hand, take a look inside the trusses here. They have cross beams going that are literally 1x2s, not structural at all. You need to really beef up. So all this framing, even though they're 2x4s, ideally they should be 2x6s for a living space. But yeah, 2x4. But all these need to be braced properly so that you can have another floor that can hold weight, right? And for your sleeping quarters and all that. So even though these studs are already there, you may have to rebuild them by sister studding, put an extra stud right next to them and beef them up completely in this case. So that is what you would end up doing, spending more and more on this particular type of structures. And when you come to the outside, here's a beautiful candidate for a tiny home. Looks cool, like a barn style. Got a T111 siding material. This is pretty good. So all by the time you're done, you're looking at like $15,000. And then your interior fixtures, right? Your little bathroom, your kitchenette, and all that is gonna run you another $5,000 anyway. So $20,000 there, plus $5,000 on the upfront. So you're talking about $25,000 by the time you are completely done. So here's the question: who's going to give you the $25,000 unless you have it saved aside? Because there is no loan or mortgage that you can go to a bank and get it for a tiny home, and that is the problem. Unless your family, gives you, unless your family lets you borrow that money, or you have that saved, you have a financial hardship in terms of getting these and saying like, hey, how would I manage? So keep that all in mind before you jump in and get it, because it's just $4,000 and it's gonna suck another $20,000 from you no matter how you look at it. So be aware of that. And also, it may not be a bad idea to, instead of going with this structure, going with the one that's built on a trailer, because that is movable. You can take it anywhere to RV park and stuff like that, and that may be a better fit sometime, and it's easily movable. Once you invest in this, it's not movable as easy as the other one on wheels. So take a look at that as well. If you're going the tiny house, that may be a better fit, could cost less compared to this structure from Home Depot or Lowe's. So there you have it, guys. If you ever think about getting it from Home Depot or Lowe's, one of these shed structures, and converting into tiny home, better think again. And just from the factors I said, financial cost, how much it's going to cost, permits, and what is the long-term plan, and all that. So there you have it. Hope you got some good information from this, and I'll see you in the next video. Feel free to comment and ask questions on all the items I just listed. And if you have any idea or thoughts about doing this particular project by yourself, it'll be fun to discuss that in the comments. So write down your comments. I'll see you in the next video, and subscribe as well. See you then.